Yeah, Betting in the Brand show where we're going to get you whole from losing earlier in the day, or we are going to help you grow your bankroll at night. Of course, it's playoff time, so there's one game to talk about tonight, one game to talk about on Monday night. We can also get into some other sports now because, you know, during the regular season, there's so many games, especially when we're doing the show on Saturdays during college football. There's so many late football games that basically that takes up the whole show. We try to keep this brief because we want you to get to the window and get your tickets in because, as Tom would say, who also is known as Rye, who joins us here, let's catch some tickets.
Let's catch some tickets. I'm so glad we didn't come back to a missed field goal.
Yeah.
That would have been horrible opening a show like that.
That would have been rough. Of course, you know, poor Tom, the Eagles are his team. So here he is having to do the show tonight, and of course the Eagles are the team that's playing, but they're up by 9 now. Mm-hmm. So a touchdown and even a touchdown and 2-point conversion doesn't catch them. Green Bay, besides every now and then sort of hitting a big play, their offense isn't exactly churning along. But I'll tell you, that one run by Josh Jacobs just recently, that was second to Beastquake. For those of us up in here in the Pacific Northwest, of course, the Beastquake, the famous run by Marshawn Lynch in the playoffs, unfortunately, against my Saints, where he broke like 6 or 7 tackles and threw a couple guys off him. By the way, what a performance by Goddard on that one play. Just basically get off me. Get off me. He face planted that guy like 3 times on the way to the end zone. That was pretty amazing. What a great stiff arm.
Yeah, I'm sweating Saquon's his carries. So he was at 18 last I looked, and now they stopped giving him the ball for some reason.
He went out. He went out of the game a little bit gimpy after the last series. Now, you saw him on the sideline say, I'm good. But, if you're the Eagles, do you really want to risk him in the latter part of this game unless you absolutely have to? And I think the answer to that is no. So we'll see if he gets back out there. I'm sorry about that for your play. I'm sweating the Eagles win here because I have a 4-leg parlay that is going to cash with an Eagles win. I had the Texans, and then I had chalk. Bills, Ravens, and now the Eagles. And the way I got some value on that ticket is by taking the Texans an underdog, which allowed me to then go chalk, and actually have a ticket that's going to pay me about 3.5 to 1 on a $75 bet. So, for those of you, I don't do a lot of parlays. I know, Tom, you don't either. I'm more of a straight game bettor. But I just saw an opportunity there because I thought the Chargers were a little bit overvalued. And, of course, it was going to be their first playoff game. I know everybody was talking all season about how great Justin Herbert and Harbaugh and yada, yada, yada. But I looked at their schedule and I'm like, they played the Raiders twice. They played Denver twice. They got beat twice by Kansas City. Their strength of schedule wasn't great. And I know the AFC South isn't all that, but the Texans had been there, done that before. And I just had my doubts about a first playoff team. And I'll tell you, Justin Herbert shrinks in big games, dude. Can you think of a big game he's won?
No. Not Justin Herbert. And then what? He threw 4 interceptions yesterday.
4 interceptions,
three for the whole season.
Yeah. I think he had 1. I think he had 1 interception coming in on the season. He threw 4 yesterday.
Yeah. Well, 1 in the last 10 games, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, 1 in the last 10 games, something like that. Yeah.
Pretty impressive until he got to yesterday.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I think the thinking that Harbaugh is going to, all of a sudden the Chargers are going to be a powerhouse and Justin Herbert's going to be a great quarterback, I think that took a big hit yesterday. I think a lot of that hype is the bloom is off the rose there. And honestly, the Chargers are a franchise. When Harbaugh went there, I kind of shook my head because the Chargers are not a franchise that are known for ever doing anything right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that was coaching, though, right?
Yeah, but they're second fiddle in the city. You know, they're not a Los Angeles team. They're a San Diego team. They play in LA. They share the stadium with the Rams. The Rams are by far the more popular franchise. If you ever go to a Chargers Raiders game in LA, it's 90% Raiders fans, which I think is stupid because I can't imagine why anybody would be a fan of the Raiders coming from a guy who used to be a fan of the Raiders like in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But then the debacle started when Al Davis had his, you know, it's sad to see both Dallas, the Raiders, and the Cowboys, two proud franchises, their owners just held on too long. And, you know, it's made it kind of unfortunate. Jerry Jones is kind of wrecking the Dallas Cowboys still. And Al Davis wrecked the Raiders. Just, you know, all kinds of crazy draft choices and reaching for players and overpaying veterans because he was just desperate to get that one more Super Bowl. And the same, you know, to a lesser extent, true of Jerry Jones. But I think Jerry Jones likes making money and being in the spotlight more than he likes winning. But we'll see. 3rd and 3, kind of a critical play here with about 5 minutes and 44 seconds left. They're going to run it with Jacobs, and they are not going to get it. So the question here, do they go for it, Tom?
They do. I'm actually ahead of you. They made it 4th and 3.
All right, so what happens? What happens on the 4th down?
It's a completion.
Oh, do they get the first?
Yeah, they got the first down.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll continue to monitor that. All right. So let's talk about this game that is coming up tonight. Well, quick look back. I have had trouble with the totals. I was wrong. I believe that the Chargers-Texans was going under. That went over the number of 42.5. I was on the over with the Bills and the Broncos. That ended up not being a very high-scoring game. That game would have gone under the 42.5. And it was set at 48.5. So, yeah, the totals have not been kind to me, but I had the Texans, I had the Ravens, I had the Bills, and I'm on the Eagles -6 in this game. But I got to tell you, my biggest success of the week, now I'm sending you to a Major Arena Soccer League game in Harrisburg soon.
Yeah.
You're going to go see a Harrisburg Heat game. Bring the family. I can get you as many tickets as you want, just about. So on Monday, I put out a slate of games for Major Arena Soccer League. Strikers +2.5, and they covered. Ambush +6.5 at the Chihuahua Savage, and they covered. The Sockers of San Diego +1.5 at the Stars, they won outright. And the Baltimore Blast at Utica +1.5, and they won outright. So damn it, if I was in Maine or Maryland or Arizona or Colorado, I would have made some money this week on the MASL. But of course, Next Bets, which takes the action on MASL for straight up and down betting on the games and on the totals, is only available in Colorado, Arizona, Maryland, and Maine. So until it's available where I am, I can't bet on those games. But at least I know that I've got a solid system going. All right, so let's talk about the NFL game tonight. Buccaneers and the Commanders. I know you've got a lot of thoughts. I'll pull your drawstring and let you go.
Yeah, so like you said, I think this game's going to be similar to what we saw with the Texans game yesterday. You have the more experienced Tampa Bay team who's been in the playoffs for seasons and seasons now. And then you have Washington, who comes out of nowhere. Jaden Daniels been good, 69% completion rate, over 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns. He's actually led the team in rushing, 891 yards, 6 touchdowns. I have McLaurin, reliable target. He has over 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. This team has won their last 5. Impressive. On the other side, we have Mayfield, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. As I said, he has the playoff experience. Tampa Bay's run defense is 4th in the league. I do think Daniels' ability to move outside of the pocket could give Tampa Bay's defense problems. Offensive for Tampa Bay, I think Bucky Irvin's going to have a good day. Washington defense, they struggle against the run. I expect Washington to have quick passes. They're going to have to set up for the play action here. On the other hand, I think Bucks will establish the run. They're going to try to keep Daniels off the field. Defensively, I think the Bucks are going to force some turnovers. I do expect a high-scoring game here. These are two teams with dynamic offenses, but I think Tampa Bay has a better defense. We know about balls versus rookie QBs. I know they saw him week 1, but he's still rookie QB. There's a few things. Their last 5 games in their 5-game winning streak, these are the quarterbacks that the Commanders have faced. Will Levis, Rattler, Pickett after they knocked out Jalen Hurts. Then they had Penix and Rush. So these aren't great quarterbacks. Before that, they were on a 4-game losing streak. So I like the Bucks. I like them on the spread, -3. You can still find them to that. I also like the over. Bucks are 11-3 to the over in their last 14. Washington is 10-5 to the over in the last 15. Washington's 5-0 to the over after a division game. Tampa Bay 5-0 versus teams with a winning record, and 7-1 versus teams versus a poor rush defense. All to the over. So I like the Bucks -3. Over 51.5. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say this penalty here, you're a little bit ahead of me, is going to really help the Eagles here. I think it's going to give them an automatic first down.
All right.
So, again, you're a little ahead.
That's what we like. But yeah, I also like Mayfield. I think he's going to have a big game here. So over 255.5 pass yards. And then I think Terry McLaurin's going to get a touchdown. You can get that at +110. Probably find better prices other places, but consensus is +110.
I can definitely see the McLaurin touchdown. He's the main receiving weapon on the Commanders. I would lean over in this game too. I also I think the experience of the Buccaneers matters. And the other thing is, man, say what you want about Baker Mayfield. The guy is absolutely a competitor, and he is total grit. I mean, there is no quit in him, no give up, no stop. Sacrifices his body. I know he's a bit of a nut job, and I'm not sure I'd want to be around him after he's had a few beers. But the guy is crazy competitive.
Yeah, they put up a lot of points too all the time. I think they put up at least 30, like 8 games this season.
If they get a couple turnovers, I could see him in the 40s. I mean, I could see 42 out of Tampa Bay. That wouldn't be a stretch to me. I think they're in the 30s pretty easily. Now watch, because I'm saying this, they're going to score like 8 points. I mean, it's going to be some ridiculous, horrible, because I'm out there saying it's going to be a high scoring game. But yeah, and I think Baker's going to go off in this game. I think the Commanders' defense is a little bit overrated. And you've got a rookie team against an experienced team. And I just, again, I think it's going to look a lot like the Chargers against the Texans, and maybe close early, but I think eventually Tampa Bay just starts hammering them and pulls away. All right, so one more game this weekend. By the way, if you go to hitthepick.com, hitthepick.com right now, you can get $100 towards actual picks and get picks from really good handicappers like Tom and David and Scott Steen and Sniper West. Sorry, Wes, your name hung up on me for a second. And then, of course, there's my picks as well. But I like giving the love to all the other guys. So, well, not that I love guys. I'm just saying. Anyway, quick, not that there'd be anything wrong with that. And I'm willing to learn, as Bill Murray said in Stripes. Okay, so what would you say about tomorrow night's game? Just a quick take, 30 seconds or less, on the Rams and the Vikings.
Yeah, so this game moved to Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium. So I think that benefits the Vikings a little bit. We have Darnold, 4,000 yards passing, 35 touchdowns. He has a 102.5 passer rating. I know people hate on him, but he's good in this system. You have Justin Jefferson, elite playmaker. The defense forces turnovers. They're actually number one in the league. They're dominant against the rush. They're dominant against the pass. On the other side, you have Stafford. He's a veteran here. You have Kupp, Nakua. Williams has been effective. He had 97 yards the last time they played earlier in the season. This defense is improving. I do think that the Rams defense will pressure Darnold. I think the Vikings secondary is going to be tested. But I think the Rams are going to have to run the ball to set up the play action. I think they're going to have trouble. I think the Vikings are going to get turnovers against this team. I think they're going to involve Jefferson early. And the Rams are just going to have a balanced attack, which I don't think they could do. I like the Vikings here.
Okay, my one thing is the pressure that is on Sam Darnold in this game is insane. If you think about the guy's early career was a dumpster fire. He gets released by the Carolina Panthers, but then again, so did Baker Mayfield. Think about that. The Panthers had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and released them both. So there's that. Now, think about Darnold in this game. He had this magical season. He's on the cusp of reclaiming his NFL career. And then he has that horrible, and that's, you got to admit, the performance against the Lions by Darnold was horrible, terrible. And so now he comes into this playoff game against the Rams, and if he has another bad game, not only is he not the quarterback of the Vikings next year, because they'll go to J.J. McCarthy, he may not be in the league. If he has another bad game, he may not find another place to be a starting quarterback. So the amount of pressure on Sam Darnold, I think it's going to be amazing to watch how he holds up to that. All right. Don't want to take you more than 15 so minutes here on Betting in the Break because we want everybody to be able to get to the betting window. This has been Betting in the Break for hitthepick.com. Hitthepick.com. I'm Loud Desmond trying to make you a better.